Wonder what Nintendo Pow Block After Dark would be like.
It'd be snacks. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for Boss Rush Network. I am LeRon Dawkins, and as always, my fabulous compadres are here with me tonight. So, say hello to Stephanie Klimov, the wonderful lady boss of the Boss Rush writing team.
Good evening. I don't know why I used a British accent. Hello.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Someone's feeling a little spicy tonight. All right.
British accent.
And that man we call Corey Derrick is, of course, in the house one more time.
I'm always here. Hello.
You're not always here, but whatever.
Oh, I missed one episode to get these sweet glasses, okay? Okay. I'm going to wear these the rest of the show now, LeRon. How do you feel now?
You know, Stephanie, like we've seen him with those glasses enough now that they just kind of fit now. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like
it's a part of him.
Yeah, like I mean, you know, like, is the douchebaggery part of him too, or what?
It goes with his ego. You know what? There needs to be like a cartoon outline of his face with those glasses and on a fucking shirt.
Oh man! Oh my God! Somebody screenshot it now and screenshot it now. Send it to us, and then we will have someone sketch it up.
Do it.
Screenshot taken
with those, and those would be the caption for it. It'd be him with those shades on, and it says "Do it."
I'll be the new Shia LaBeouf meme.
Oh gosh.
Do it. There you.
How's everybody doing? It's Wednesday night. How's it going?
Oh my gosh! It's only Wednesday. God.
Yeah, I know. It's only Wednesday, but you know, it's Wednesday. Here's the thing about it. Like, it's February fucking 9th. I feel like the year is already running away with us. I mean, it's only technically like the fifth week of the. Yeah, it's the fifth week of the year.
It is.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. 7th week of the year, 40 days in.
Well, that's the thing. Like I feel like the year is already zooming by quickly, and I know I feel like a broken record, like an old timey wimey cranky adult or old person, but this has probably been one of the longest fucking days I've had. Fast year so far, long fucking week.
I don't know. I feel like Monday this week was like the worst for me.
Oof, that was bad.
Even though today was kind of like some bullshit because usually on Wednesdays for my job, like I have to attend a business meeting, and it's usually every week. So I have to attend a business meeting. I'm usually there for at least 90 minutes, whatnot, for the business meeting, stuff like that. And it was crazy because like my phone was absolutely quiet until like the meeting ended at 10:30. 10:36, the phone started ringing, and it would just not shut the fuck up. Until like the phone didn't go silent until after 5:30, and I was. It almost soured my mood to the point where I was thinking about ordering takeout instead of cooking dinner tonight.
Ooh.
Takeout sounds good.
Yeah. No, but you know, I persevered and I cooked because I got a phone call from my doctor's office reminding me that I have an appointment on Tuesday and they need me to come in Friday for labs. So I was like, you know what? Can't be fucking around eating like high greasy, salty, crazy food, you know, given that I'm about to give blood, and you know, I don't want my doctor like, you know, finger wagging me because like all my numbers are off and everything. So it's like I didn't realize I had an appointment coming because now I'm like, shit, I gotta fast Monday, or at least half the day Monday before I go in for. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. No, the labs are drawing blood on Friday, which means, hell, I gotta start fasting tomorrow afternoon.
Ugh.
And I have to work out Friday morning before I go get blood. So yeah, and I'm getting my COVID booster Friday as
Perfect
well.
Storm.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you.
I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can get my boyfriend to like spend the weekend with me over here, because y'all know me. I'm gonna be like the world's most pitiful man, because I'm gonna have the freaking COVID man flu, and
Wow.
it's not gonna be pretty, and I'm gonna need someone to take care of me.
Are you doing, and you too, Corey, like anyone doing stuff for the Super Bowl?
Not
No.
me.
No. We have an event next week, and like Monday is kind of like prep for it, and I just don't feel like feeling like crap, I guess. I don't know. I mean, my wife and I will probably like sit and watch some of it with the kids, or like get a pizza or something, but like nothing like super crazy, like the old days, where the Super Bowl didn't end until like Wednesday.
So yeah. So no more extended tailgates, huh?
No. Nope. Sorry. I'm old now. I have responsibilities.
Responsibility.
I have a job and children. I don't know why I'm using air quotes.
I know, but keep doing it because I love it. People used to scold me when I make comments about, oh, I feel so old, which, I get it. I'm not like 60 or 70, but I'm telling you, once you're like after 25 or basically 30s, once you're in your 30s, it's downhill so bad. We've had this conversation through text earlier. Okay. I had a hard workout on Saturday. I had like mid-level pull, and it's, a lot of muscle work. And I like
mid-level pull.
My shoulders and my wrist, I'm still hurting. Like my joints are on fire, and I'm still recovering. Whereas like if I did it in my 20s, sure, I'd be sore for 24 hours and then I bounce back. I'm like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, like every day's been fucking leg day for me because I told you guys, and you've also heard this on the podcast, but I injured my rotator cuff like back in November, and it's getting to the point where it's almost healed, but there's still some exercises I cannot do, using that arm and stuff, and so like my trainers is like, like every workout is basically like a bunch of leg days and stuff like that. So, like a man can only do but so many squats before like, the shit's wearing me out.
Leg day is the worst.
Yeah. Like I'm definitely one of those people. I don't understand people who go in and crush leg day and act like it was a walk in the park for them. Cause it's like, no, like there's something fucking wrong with you.
Yeah. Leg day sucks.
Like, and it's just, like leg day also sucks when you live in a 2-story house.
I was gonna say stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when in college, like I played football in college, and we lived on the 5th floor, and like after like conditioning and leg day in the same day, and you had to walk up 5 flights of stairs afterwards. Oh, it was awful. I was like, no more, please.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how our week's going. Just
yeah, exactly.
And it sucks.
I mean, I'm not having a terrible week. It's been a long week for sure, but it just, it's just, man, I don't know what I want. I wanted tonight to come, and now it's here, and now it's going to be over soon, and I'm just like, no.
Well, we're still riding the high of the Nintendo Direct, which we just discussed at length at our Boss Rush podcast. That was a nice little perk of today.
We did. That was a good time. I very excited about the Nintendo Direct. It's very nice. Good times. Man, I'm running out of like fuel. I feel like I should just crack something else open and like chug it real fast and be like, crazy.
Yeah, I expended all my energy already with that monster, and I just feel like if I have a second one, I'm going to be up all night. All right, we got to change that. I'm going to just keep making old person complaints.
I mean, that's what the show is. Remember, if old people are up after dark, then what's wrong with them? They get up early. They got to get up early and go to the country kitchen to get their,
the donuts and country kitchen.
Or like you could be like the old people that hang out at McDonald's at like 5 o'clock in the morning and just hang out there for 3 hours.
Yeah,
Anybody else
what
have
is
a
up with
McDonald's like
that?
that?
What is up with that?
I don't know.
No, I don't. I don't hang out at McDonald's like that.
They get their dollar coffee and their sausage McMuffin and read the
I'm
paper
like,
to each other like like they're children.
if I go to McDonald's, it's like a fucking Walmart experience for me. Get your shit and get out. That's usually how like a McDonald's visit goes for me.
Hey, well, you know what? Like, I would like to be in a position where I could just sit and chill and not have to worry about, hustling my ass one place to the next place.
I know, wouldn't that
Right?
be awesome? Be just like
But I'm not at that level yet. But what level I am at is that I definitely prefer matinees than movies at night.
yeah.
Like, I don't like going to movies like on a weekend night. It's so crowded and all these people.
Yeah.
Who wants to be with a crowd? No, I want the theater to myself.
I don't even remember. Well, I guess 007 was the last movie I went to like in theater. But I don't remember. I don't even remember what was before that. I guess like Endgame, I guess might have been it. I don't know. I don't go to the movies like at all.
I didn't see the latest Spider-Man, but just because I kind of almost felt like it was a super spreader event, like given how popular the movie is. I'm like, I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you see where that's streaming, by the way?
It's streaming already?
It's
No,
streaming?
it's they said in like the next 30 days it's going to be on Stars.
Oh,
What?
Who has
that's
Stars?
weird.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, because like Sony's contract didn't start till 2022 and they released it in December of 2021 for Netflix and Disney Plus.
Okay.
So,
Oh.
Okay.
God, why? Stars? Come on.
Hey, it is what it is.
I didn't even know Stars was like a real channel. Let alone
You can get like a free trial through Prime, right?
You really?
can you?
I
Maybe.
think so.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Look,
don't listen to us.
The last thing I watched on Stars, I think, was the first season of Spartacus. Which was like, oh, well, then they moved it to like something else, and I was like, I'll just watch it here. That was a good show, by the way. A lot of
everything.
sex things going on in there.
A lot of everything was going on in Spartacus.
A lot of dangly dongs and floppy boobs, and that's just like a
Floppy boobs.
yep.
Yeah,
I don't know where I was going with that. Okay.
Spartacus Blood and Sand is where you got your porn fix in.
Jeez, dude, that show was like, man, a lot of like cutting people up and a lot of banging.
I know, man. It was to think that was a violent show for that time, and like look at the stuff that we see now. Like, I mean,
I know.
who is
Game of Thrones makes Spartacus look like a Disney movie.
shit, fucking The Walking Dead made Spartacus look.
Yeah.
It made Spartacus look tame.
Yeah. But man, back then though, man, that was like the most violent show on
shocking
TV.
shit.
So.
I can't remember how I got into that show. Actually, I think I just watched the premiere episode just because I was curious and like, hot damn, like it satisfied my curiosity.
Yeah.
Because I watched it for the next 4 seasons.
Yeah. Man, remember when the guy that played Spartacus died and they did that they did that prequel season?
Yeah, which the prequel season wasn't bad.
No,
It was
I
not
actually
bad at all.
really liked the prequel season.
Yeah, I loved Gannicus. Like,
Yeah.
like that dude was a fucking hero.
Yeah. It was cool. I liked that season. Anyways, After Dark. Speaking of sexy media, so in the chat, I sent you guys this commercial that I've been rewatching How I Met Your Mother because it's an easy show to have on in the background while I'm like editing or working on something. And they play this damn just cologne or perfume commercial with Zoe Kravitz and like 5 other like incredibly attractive people in it. And like it's playing the Hills by the Weekend with like heavy bass on it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, what is happening? I feel like I'm being like, I don't know. I felt like I got pregnant 3 times.
You felt violated?
Yeah, I felt like I was like, I feel like something else should be happening right now while I'm watching this commercial, and nothing else is happening, and I'm kind of sad. You know,
It's
it's like
the way you describe it is kind of like how like like you see you're watching a movie and all of a sudden something comes on the TV screen and like it has everybody's transfixed by it for like that for like however that length of time.
yeah.
That's the way it sounds when you described it. But then again, I can't lie because you sent the link, I clicked on it, and I watched it 2 more times. like
I'm telling you. And now,
right
like
after.
now, when I'm watching now I'm not gonna lie. When I'm watching that show and
You're waiting for the
hear the
ad.
song, I get a little excited.
Wow.
Immediately my first thing is like these people are way too hot for me to be watching this.
That's what I'm saying. I felt incredibly inadequate as a human being by watching this commercial. You know, as I'm sitting there like munching on some chips and salsa, I'm watching these incredibly attractive people grind on each other while they spray perfume on each other. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna keep eating these chips because there's no way I'm ever gonna look like that again.
You know what? Think about how far we've come because remember CK1 commercials where it was like damn near naked people except they look like they need to eat a sandwich.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that first shot of Zoe Kravitz with like the red light on her and she has like the heavy eye makeup. Oh my god, dude! I'm just like,
let's just put it this way: like I was so caught off guard by it that I was like I know this girl. Who is this? I was like, who is? I know this woman. Who is?
Yeah.
I was so caught off guard.
Yeah, that's I'm just Jesus Christ, dude! That commercial. Anyways, that was my rant this time. So I'm just saying, like that commercial, just like I've never been so attracted to a commercial in my entire life.
I coined a phrase a long time ago when it comes to like just insanely attractive people. It's like they're so hot it should be against the law how good looking they are.
I'm saying and that commercial is full of them. Everybody in that commercial is arrested.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah,
it's like this is a crime against fucking humanity, nature, whatever you want to call it. Because why can't I look that fucking attractive?
I know,
See, this is why you guys need to watch like shows that are geared towards again old people, because then all you'll get are AARP and life insurance commercials, and all those people. You look better than those people, so I'm fine.
And then the commercial right after it is always like the Robert Pattinson like commercial where he's like shirtless looking out the window. He's like, oh yeah, I'm Batman now, and I'm looking out the window, and there's a sexy girl in my bed, and I'm gonna go over there and make out with her because I'm Robert Pattinson. I'm fucking Batman.
Well, you know what? This all speaks about how sensational marketing is nowadays and stuff like that. Because they even have like ultra attractive people for these medical commercials, and like for prescription drugs and stuff. And it's like, I understand why you have herpes because look at you. Look at you. Like, yeah,
hot people sell drugs, LeRon. Have you not learned this?
Because if I look like you, I'd be jumping in and out of bed with everything too. Damn all the protection.
Yeah, I mean, God, yeah. Instead of now I just sit on the couch and like eat a bag of chips and wonder why my pants won't fit the next morning. So. It's okay.
At the same time, they're setting unrealistic expectations. I don't think I ever looked that good, even when I was at the prime of my life.
I feel like I look better now than I did when I was younger, because I've looked at old pictures of myself. And did y'all see the picture I shared of myself when I went to Las Vegas? Like it was over 10 years ago.
I didn't see it.
I will share it with you guys later. I have to. It's somewhere in the darkest recesses of my phone, but I will share it. I can't believe how overweight I got at one point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think for me, I feel like look the best now, not because I'm in the best shape of my life. I was skinnier in high school, for example, but in college, I was, drinking. Right after college, I was drinking a lot, staying up a lot, not really taking care of my body. So even though I was skinny, quote unquote, Like when you do those stupid like Facebook things where it's like, oh, this is you 10 years ago and this is you 10 years now. Like everyone's general consensus is like, Steph, you look so much better because you look like you take care of yourself, and it's true. So
Whoa, damn, that's kind of hard. That's kind of
what?
harsh. You look like you take care of yourself. Like you look. That's kind of
Well,
harsh.
maybe I just the way I see it is, I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess my version of beauty is kind of not like that commercial.
I mean, there's a difference between. I think there's a difference between like beauty and beautiful, and then like someone trying to sell you like this. They are clearly dressed and lit for sex. You know,
True. That is
that's
true.
what that commercial is selling, and I if
It
you
works.
yeah, that's my thought. Like
Good point.
there's something that like me and one of my ex-girlfriends used to talk about a little bit, like me, her, and like her group of friends, is like there's a difference between like and like they don't necessarily outweigh the other one, but like there's a difference between like hot and like beauty and beautiful, right? Like there's that difference that hot is like you're aiming at something, and you're aiming to sell sex and whatever. And then like there's people that aren't like quote unquote hot, but they're beautiful, and they just look like, you know what I mean? Am I describing
Gotcha.
it correctly? I don't know, maybe I'm just making stuff up now. That's a conversation we used to have.
Gotcha.
So neat.
All I'm
Anybody
gonna-
else
all
got a
I'm-
topic?
all I'm gonna say is if you guys go to my Twitter and Instagram now, like it's much better window dressing what you see than if you scroll back into the early 2000s.
Well, I'm gonna go there. But while I'm doing that, speaking of selling sex and beauty and stuff, I don't know if you guys are ready to just hop onto kind of like a I don't know where you want to take this topic, but it is going to be Valentine's Day week. And I just want to maybe open up to just generally speaking about it. Like, are you guys a fan of, you hate it, indifferent to Valentine's? Because, like, for me, I think Valentine's Day, like some holidays, are just really overrated and overblown. And I have never really had a successful hit career with my love life, so I was always kind of like anti-Valentine's Day. However, I always still like celebrating Valentine's Day because I just like any excuse to celebrate anything. So I don't know. I just kind of want to figure out, like, do you guys have plans? What do you guys think about the holiday? Do you think it's overrated? Do you guys bother to do anything about it? Do you guys have like a funny, nice, sad, hilarious memory of Valentine's?
Oh, I have a really nice memory. But Corey, let me ask you this real fast. How long have you been married now?
Oh God, married?
Yeah.
5.5 years.
Okay, and how long have you and your wife have been with each other before, through the whole time?
Since 2014, so
Okay.
a little over 8 years.
Okay.
Aw.
All right. So I guess you being the married guy and the attached person here, like Valentine's Day has a different meaning for somebody like Stephanie and me, Stephanie, you've been married previously, right?
Previously married.
Yeah.
And I do have someone to go on a Valentine's Day date with this weekend, but I'll go off that later.
Okay. All right. And for the most part, I feel like for Valentine's Day I've been single more than I've been attached. Like this year is my first year in 4 or 5 years that I can claim I've been attached for Valentine's Day. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I am. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and thank God this is not like a live recording. Because I could imagine the phone getting blown up just for having admitted that on a live. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing for the boyfriend just yet. But the cool thing is, like, we've been dating for almost a year. Our anniversary would be May the 2nd, so we've been dating for almost a year now.
Wow.
Already?
Congrats,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
And so I will say this in almost a year's time. I think I know him pretty well enough to know like, hey, like if we're going to dinner, this is where I'm going to take. This is what I where I know he'll actually appreciate it, and I've actually gotten to the point where I know like you like what he's into, what he's not into, and stuff like that. So I think whatever I come up with on the 14th, I think it'll be all right. Now speaking as a guy who also has not been in enough Valentine's Day relationships and stuff like that. I do, for the most part, I do feel like the holiday is a little overrated. You know, I'm one of those people that I definitely believe in. I definitely believe in that whole thing about like the Hallmark calendar holidays. You know, just being shit just to make people spend money and get all upswept in like emotions that like you should be able to have those emotions every fucking day. So why do we need one particular day to like put it all on display and stuff like that? So yeah, holidays like this can get me a little jaded, but like right now, like I'm in a new relationship, so I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited, like
yeah, you're taking the holiday as it is, and as a chance to like enjoy
yeah.
it with significant other and not get swept up in the all this excessive stuff.
Oh yeah, because anyone can tell you like the years prior, like I was always one of those one of those people like putting up those dumbass memes about how everybody else on Valentine's Day and then my single ass. So yeah, like I'm also a big jokester on social media and stuff like that. So yeah, like I can say I'm going to be swept up in the whole Valentine's Day thing this year versus other years
Oh,
because I came off of a well, I wouldn't say my the last relationship I was in was a bad breakup, but the breakup was out of the blue. Like I'm always the person that gets dumped, you know.
mm.
So like when that one happened and it was funny too because like I was just getting ready to like I was crazily enough I was getting ready to put my notice in to like leave my job because like my ex picked up a position in a different city, and I was not going to be able to continue the job I had, in that new location and stuff like that because I was going to move, and literally like 2 weeks
Wow.
before 2 weeks before like my move out date from my apartment and stuff like that, I get dumped. So yeah. So at that point it was a whole bunch of self-reflection and stuff like that because at the time I was sort of like, okay, this is the one. This is the relationship that this is the person I'm probably going to spend the rest of my life with, because like I said, after 3 years in the relationship, I was getting ready to like move to a different geographic location. So so that happened and it took me a while to bounce back. Like I honestly didn't even think about getting back on like any dating apps for myself out there until like 2 years later. That's how much that's how much not damage control, but I guess reconstruction I had to do on myself because you sit there and you think sometimes about like like hey like what's going on? Like, like why did I get dumped and why do I keep getting dumped and stuff like that? Because it's a whole history of like of me being dumped by people.
Oh,
It is. I can only say one time that I actually cut off a relationship with somebody, and then there was another time where it was me and the other person did a mutual like breakup, but it was one of those situations where like we're about to be in situations where it'd be long term. I'm not long distance, and we were way too young, so we didn't know how to deal with those emotions. So we were just like, you know what? Maybe we should just go ahead and call it quits.
I can empathize. I think I only was the dumper 2-3 times, and the rest I was dumped. So it's like I must have a dumpable quality about myself.
Well, I know this. Like, I know knowing myself. Like, sometimes sometimes I can seem like I'm emotionally unavailable, and that's far from the fact because like I'm one of those people. Like, I had my love languages quiz pulled up. Um, uh, yeah, like I'm one of those persons that like I like according to my love language results, I'm 29% quality time, 26% physical touch, 16% words of affirmation, 16% receiving gifts, and 13% acts of services. So this is all the stuff that makes me tick in a relationship and stuff like that. So even though sometimes I do seem like I'm emotionally unavailable, like I'm actually thriving for this stuff to happen, you know. So yeah, it's weird, and like I said, it took me a while. Like I'm still wondering about like what are these qualities I have that like make it seem like like I'm not a dateable person, you know. Apparently, like people are people are horny enough, for me because Corey reminded me that people are bombarding us, to make sure like I have no sleeves on and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, like I'm that good, but not good enough to stay with, So
Yeah,
what
somebody
what
somebody somebody DM me, or it was a Facebook message from someone. They're like, "Hey, that LeRon guy, you should have him do a PC show with no sleeves and call it Black Cavill." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll get right on
you
that."
know you know what? First of all, I appreciate the compliment because somebody's trying to say I'm Black Superman. Come on, like I am not Idris Elba. I am not.
It's true. No offense, but it's true.
I appreciate the compliment though.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, Valentine's Day for me is like I feel like it's a double-edged sword, like when I'm in a relationship, yeah, I get swept up in the moment, and it's not even the whole thing of like, just like making sure like, my significant other, which in this case for this time around is my boyfriend. Not, it's not just a whole thing of like, like making sure like like I'm treating him right and stuff like that. But when I'm in a relationship and Valentine's Day is coming around, I typically like, do the thing without going too super crazy about it. And when I'm single, I'm just like, yeah, fuck this shit.
Yep.
yeah. Valentine's Day is, I don't. So for me, it's like I worked in a restaurant for like the first half of our relationship. So like Valentine's Day was always like I always had to work because it was one of the busiest days of the year. So we kind of always waited for like a weekend or something, but it never really, for better or for worse, I guess, like it just never was a part of our relationship, And like I just kind of feel like personally that like you shouldn't have like a day to tell your significant other that you love them, or you should just do it every day. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm terrible at that, I'm terrible at that, but like that doesn't mean I don't love her every day, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of dumb and kind of over, like LeRon said, it's a Hallmark holiday. It's like we're doing it to sell greeting cards and flowers and chocolate and all this other crap, right? That I don't know. I feel like you could go get that for people every day. Like
Yeah.
I I don't know. I think holidays are kind of stupid. Like I don't even celebrate my birthday. Like I just don't care. It's just like one of those things. It doesn't really matter to our relationship, and like, I mean, I've asked her before, right? Like, do you want to go out to dinner for Valentine's Day, or do you want to get something in? And she's like, let's just wait till the weekend. Let's just wait till everything's done, And it's just never been a big part of our relationship, and it's kind of nice. It's kind of, I don't know. I just never really had that relationship where like that kind of stuff matters.
It's good. It's better than setting like unhealthy expectations. Like as I get older, well, I feel like it was most of my life, holidays are more about the experience for me. Like when you mentioned birthdays, like, yeah, after a certain age, there's really not much to celebrate. But if anything, like, don't get me gifts. Like, I just want to do something fun that day, if not around that day, just for memory. And that's how I kind of think about Valentine's Day now. One of my best Valentine's memory was probably the last time I celebrated Valentine's Day with someone, and we, because he got me flowers like just every couple weeks. So I said, like, don't spend money like on actual Valentine's Day. But we planned, because I think it fell on a weekend. We just went up to Vermont and just went like snowshoeing and just like stayed in like a old New England type bed and breakfast, and we were snowed in, and it was the memory. See, I remember it and I look upon it fondly, not what kind of jewelry or something, someone would get me.
Yeah. It's
That sounds like an amazing memory, though. Like getting snowed in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
yeah, it's a good
one
one.
thing that annoys me is people showboating on social media. But I know people just do that in general all the time. But I think what aversion I had to Valentine's Day when Facebook really had kicked off was that
Hmm.
people would post things of what they did with their significant other on Valentine's Day. Not that I'm not happy for them, but it's like literally like in your face, like, look how happy I am. I'm so fucking happy.
I
Like,
know.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
like those hardcore flexes.
Yeah, nobody's that happy. Let's be honest here. You
Oh
know,
no, yeah, I've grown out of that, and I'm just like, oh, good for you.
it's like, man, I don't know. I haven't posted anything like any kind of pictures or anything on Facebook or social media in a while, right? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't even go on social media that much anymore, really, except for like work related stuff or like for this, like the podcast and stuff, It's just, I don't know. Social media has kind of been annoying recently, and that it's kind of weird because
Mm.
I work in social media, so it's kind of. But
I'm
yeah, I hear what you're saying though. Like people just they post pictures, and it's just there's no way you're that happy all the time. There's no
Uh,
way.
the social media effect, is crazy because like people put on like the fakest shit on their social media, and sometimes it's so blatant that it's fake and stuff like that. Like I always like the people who seem to always be traveling.
hmm
I also like the people who seem like they're always driving a brand new fucking car like every week.
I know.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just insane, like it's like come on. Like either you're the world's richest person or the math ain't mathing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the big one that my wife and I always talk about is like when we see people buying a house. And it's like, how can you afford a house? The backstories of these people, right? Like they're
Yeah.
in so much debt. They they don't make that much money. How are you buying a house? Your mortgage must be like 4 times what it should be. Like it's just
Hmm.
that's the big one recently that we've noticed. And like
Okay.
we're trying to like save for a house and stuff too, right? Like and it's the market kind of sucks right now. But we're trying to save for one and everything. And
I feel like one of the hardest parts for our generation to get a house, because rent honestly is in my at least in my the part of the country I live in is almost as high as a inexpensive quote unquote mortgage monthly
yeah.
mortgage. It's a down payment.
Yeah, that's what we're struggling with. Like a mortgage payment would actually be cheaper than what we're paying in rent, most likely. But like the down payment, it sucks. Like you got to have it. Like to have a decent mortgage payment, you have to have
Decent down
like a
payment. Yeah.
25% down payment. It's like
Yeah.
God, in the area where we live, where like a house could cost somewhere between $200,000 and $400,000 depending on the size or area. It's like I can't just whip out $50,000 to give someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plus, you
Hmm.
have to think about like, okay, well, you have to have that. Plus, you have to have like at least 10 grand to have like a nest egg in case something's wrong, right? You have to like make sure you have money for like closing costs or like a inspection, like if they don't
Yep.
agree to do that. And it's like, God, by the time you say you need $50,000, you need like 70 or 75. It's like, Jesus, you know?
hmm
It's like at that point, it's like, I mean, I've made some not great financial decisions in my life early on. And it's like, I don't even know what that number looks like in my bank account. And like, I'm at a point now where we're like comfortable, and we're saving and we're doing a good job with it and stuff. But like, still, that number is so high. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I've seen people like just buying like these gigantic houses, and I think for me that kind of gets me on social media are people that love to do professional photo shoots, but it seems like for more than just one occasion. Like if you got married and you have professional pictures of getting married, fine.
Hmm.
But like there's some people that just seem like they have these professional photos like every season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is
And you know,
happening?
neither one of them are photographers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, oh my god, Blech, I
How
just want to puke,
how else are you gonna know spring is coming?
right? Or just like in New England, look, all the leaves, they're turning colors. Let me prance around in my Ugg boots, sipping on my pumpkin spice latte.
Right. How do you know fall's coming if you don't get matching flannel shirts?
Exactly. Or at Christmas time, you're all wearing matching Christmas themed pajamas.
Right? Oh,
All right.
man. That's funny because
Now this is turning into a rant.
I know.
I was gonna try and do the flannel thing with my boyfriend this fall.
That's okay, but I'm going to assume that you're not going to be like taking 50 professional photos of it and plastering it all over every single social media app, were you?
Nah.
Exactly. There's a
Nah.
difference.
Well, here's one thing I learned, and I guess it's because I'm in my 40s now. Like I just don't flex my relationship, on social media anymore. Like it's one of those things, like, and well, number one, I never really was a fan of doing it in the first place, but I know now as I've gotten older, like, like, because I still feel like social media, particularly Facebook, is like just a really evil thing to have, like, people knowing all your personal business on. Like, yeah, like, like, if you're like in a good relationship and whatnot, like you guys have been, like, like steady for years and stuff like that. Yeah, occasionally put something out there, cool and everything, but, like, putting every single facet of your relationship out there and stuff like that, I feel like it's a just inviting disaster, And I'm not saying it's inviting like crazy like shit, like somebody's gonna cheat on somebody, whatnot. It's just that everybody fucking winds up knowing your business, and, like, everything you wind up doing, because, like, you putting it all out there on social media becomes news.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
even if it's inadvertent, like
yeah,
first person I dated after the divorce, like I've kept that very low key. And one time we were on like a fishing trip, so I sort of, like, honestly, in my mind, I'm like, look, I caught a fish, like I caught a bass, like first bass in a long time. So we did a selfie. We're in a tiny kayak, so he was in the shot. But I didn't, like, all I said was I went fishing, and one of my cousins was like, "Who's that guy?" And this cousin hasn't talked to me in like a year. I'm like, "Hi, how are you?"
yeah,
I'm like, "All right, well, I took that down."
yeah, shit like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You ever go back and look at like old like things that you put on Facebook or old tweets or whatever and just be like, "Oh my god, why was I
Yeah.
like that?"
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
When
like,
I first joined Facebook, I wrote in a lot of capital letters and used a lot of exclamation marks, and that was embarrassing.
yeah, I did that when I started dating my wife. I was like, look at me and my girl hanging out.
Yep. Yep.
Exclamation point.
I used to do crazy ass rants, and I used to say shit that was on my mind. Like, I mean, honestly, I still say shit that's on my mind, but now it's just like, I don't know, like, there's so many fucking snowflakes out there that, I just can't say what.
Yeah.
I always treated my Facebook particularly like it's a live journal, kind of like what MySpace was. Because even though MySpace evolved from my journal, I'm a live journal and all that stuff. I still treated Facebook like that, and then I realized that, what, everybody gets butthurt if you say you're not a cat person, and shit like that.
You're not a cat person, LeRon?
No, I like cats, but cats are not my go-to house pet.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so, like, honestly, so, social media is just another way of people just having too much accessibility to you, and accessibility to you for the wrong reasons, because, uh going back to the whole relationships thing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to let people know that you're in a relationship, and, that, and have them acknowledge the stuff that you're doing for your significant other and stuff like that. But people just find a way to, like, just make it a miserable time. Like, for example, like the whole Valentine's Day thing. Like I could take my boyfriend right now to a 3-star Michelin restaurant, and I guarantee you there'd be one comment like, "Why didn't you take him here?" Shit like that. It's like, why don't you shut the fuck up or take us both there, and then you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, speaking of restaurant, just So for my quote unquote Valentine's plan, I'm not doing anything on actual Valentine's Day because it's Monday.
Uh-huh.
But on Saturday, I made reservations at, I don't know if you guys, how big this chain is or not, Ruth Steakhouse.
Yes. Ruth Chris?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I cannot wait to have myself a nice, big, juicy steak.
Enjoy
like a tomahawk
yourself.
or something.
Yes, the tomahawk, yes.
So I'm just more excited about the food. Sorry, I just had to work in the food somewhere.
I'm always excited about going to some good fancy place to eat.
I don't even remember. God, I don't even remember the last time we went out to eat. To be honest with you, man. I feel like a terrible human because like we always order in, like we always just go get it and bring it home. I think we just like prefer to be home, you know. And I
think that's the magic. That's the magic.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's just because we're married and have kids, and you know, just don't want to wrangle everybody up and go out. Plus, like COVID stuff, like my kids still aren't vaccinated because they're not old enough, right? But like. I don't even remember the last place we went out to eat, like, and sat down and ate.
That's fine. I mean, like, that's part of what I'm, like, kind of excited about because I have not been out to dine at a restaurant in a very long time. Mm-hmm. So, like, I was like, oh, wow, this is going to almost be, like, the very first time.
It's been a hot minute since I went out to a restaurant to eat, and it's because of COVID. Like my boyfriend for sure is definitely like, you know, like COVID shy. I am COVID shy, but he makes me look reckless.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, So and honestly, I appreciate that fact because it helps keep me on my P's and Q's. Like I always have my masks, you know, and I'm somewhere within arm's reach of hand sanitizer, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, like yeah, there's been some days it's like no, where he's like no, like we're not going there, and I appreciate it. So yeah, but so actually, I guess I'll take the temperature for how he's feeling about going out for dinner. If he wants to do a night in for dinner, like yeah, like we can do that too.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, a night in for dinner means that we don't have to go too far for the after dinner stuff. So yeah.
After dinner stuff. What kind of dessert you having, LeRon?
I could say a few things, but you know,
some chocolatey blow pops.
Ooh, ooh, that's actually an idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just a terrible human being.
Yeah. So good news for our patrons because this was a good topic. So good news for our patrons. Like Happy Valentine's Day. Like because you guys will be listening to this the day before Valentine's Day.
There you go.
Yeah, the 13th. The 13th, right?
I don't remember.
Am I wrong?
I could look it up, but I don't remember, honestly.
I have the 13th. Yeah, that's Sunday.
Well, the show comes out on a Saturday, so.
Oh, it does come out on Saturday? Well, it's happy early Valentine's Day then.
No, yeah. I think it's after Valentine's Day, actually.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. After Dark. Oh, God, no, this is going up in March.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's 2 weeks later, patrons? Right?
Yeah, for patrons. It's going up patrons? On...
Yeah.
March 5th.
Oh, my bad. I thought the schedule was
Wow, so this is going to be wicked outdated. Sorry, guys.
Well, remember we
had a nice Valentine's Day.
We started recording this like 3 or 4 episodes before we started posting them.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong. Okay, that is totally my bad. I need to pay better attention to the production schedule.
So do I. Good news though, we have After Dark scheduled till March.
Oh yeah, that is good news. That is good news, and by the way, for all of our listeners out there, thank you for all your feedback. Like it's been wonderful. We love hearing what you have to say. We even have people who are interested in joining us on the show. So thanks a lot for that input. We appreciate it, and we will see if we can work something out.
Hmm.
I
Ron,
can't
you
make
got to
any.
be sharing this stuff with me. I don't know what the feedback
Yeah, I
is.
want some
Oh,
feedback.
really?
I want
Oh,
feedback
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
dude.
I will share that with you. My
right
my
now.
bad.
Share it right now.
Right now? Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Uh,
Should I name names?
like, do we know these people?
Here's what I know. Like a fellow Trekkie
Oh,
reached
here we
out
go.
to me, and he was like and he was like, "Hey, LeRon, I think we've only ever commented on a few of each other's tweets and whatnot, but I want to reach out as a fellow veteran. You've talked about the importance of seeking help, and I think it's hugely important too. If there's ever a want to do an episode talking about veterans and mental health, I'd love to jump on and be on it, be it After Dark or the main show. So that means he listens to both programs. Um, um, I'm like you. I'm like you in that I never saw combat while I was on active duty or anything like that. But I still have struggles, especially after I got out of the military. Anyway, just want to reach out and toss my name as a potential future guest.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Yep.
that'd be awesome. I think. I mean, I know we've been kind of recording this, a little behind the scenes stuff. We record After Dark right after the main show most Wednesday nights, but like we've talked about like, LeRon, if you want to have somebody on and or Stephanie, like if you want to record off, quote unquote off schedule, like why don't we do it? I think that would be really good to get other people's
Yeah.
stories on here, especially people who need to talk about something or want to talk about something, right? Like
Yeah.
we've brought up having Celeste on soon, like when she gets everything situated, because I mean she went through a horrible that hurricane, right? And
Yeah.
how she's dealt with it and everything, and I know it's not easy. I know she's had a terrible time, whether she'll admit it or not. Like that shit's hard to deal with. And
Hmm.
if anybody out there like who listens or, whatever has something that they want to talk about, or, maybe something that will help somebody else in the future, like, yeah, come on. I'll sit out. Nobody wants to hear my voice all the time.
Oh, whatever.
You don't need me. It's fine.
Nobody ever said that.
They're thinking it though.
Once again, welcome back to another episode of Corey Has Feelings.
Mm.
Hey, I do have feelings. I'm sorry. I won't let
No,
my
no, no,
feelings
no,
out anymore.
no, don't apologize. No, don't you dare. All
What else we got?
Um.
What was in our?
Well, I mentioned this in our chat, and I don't know, like it's kind of heavy. So I mean,
Bring it.
so earlier last week, I was reading. I stumbled onto something where a couple were attacked. It was a gay couple and stuff like that, and they were attacked, and for some strange reason, like it resonated with me. I guess because like like I mentioned earlier, like I'm in a relationship that's about to hit a year old, and I think what struck me about this is that they were attacked obviously for being a gay couple and stuff
Mm.
like that out in public, and it sent me reeling because this is honestly the first relationship that I've had with someone of the same sex where I'm actually more comfortable with public displays of affection and stuff like that. And honestly, I remember like wow, like our first date. Our first date, we met up in a public place. We had dinner and whatnot. We walked around. We walked around the venue for a couple of rounds and stuff. And then I walked him back to his car. We said goodnight, and he asked for a kiss. And part of me had a real quick pause because I don't typically do that stuff. Like I hardly ever do it with women. When I am dating women and stuff like that. But for the first time ever, like, like I kissed him, I kissed a guy goodnight out in public, and so like it was wonderful, it was awesome and everything. Um, I watched him drive off, and then I got back to my car, and as soon as I got in my car, before I even started the car, I was like, "Fuck!" Like I we could have been attacked, and so like I read the article about the guys and stuff like that. Some people who were passing by, like, sorry, it was in a public place. It was like right outside of a restaurant and stuff, and so people came to their aid almost immediately, even though they were still technically assaulted. Like they had to go to the emergency room and get looked at and stuff. And like for the most part, they're in good health and whatnot. Like some scrapes and bruises and stuff like that, but they were good. But like I said, kind of set me reeling because like I'm not always big on public displays of affection, and I'm more guarded, when I'm in a same sex relationship with somebody else and stuff like that. So yeah, it had me feeling some type of way, and stuff like that. And I don't know, I felt like this is something that we could probably talk about, but like I said, if it's a little too crazy, we
No, I'm
Too
glad you
crazy.
expressed that because it's something that I feel that heterosexual couples might even just take for granted, like and again, we're not talking about like shoving hands down pants and being an appropriate kind of PDA, like
yeah, just being affectionate.
for like a same sex date relationship, whatever, just to hold hands, just for a kiss goodnight.
Yeah.
Like for them to have to actually take pause, be like, hey, am I or we going to be in physical danger? That's completely unacceptable. It just makes me so, it's very disturbing that something so basic that gets taken for granted. Otherwise, I don't know, just here I go. I'm rambling because I'm getting upset. Sorry. Someone else talk because I don't like it.
Well, what what I know what I it's kind of crazy because right, like because nobody, I'll be honest with you, like nobody thinks about this, like in a heterosexual relationship, people hardly blink, when it's two women, but when it's two men, for some strange reason, like it's the most offensive thing in the world and should be challenged or attacked immediately right there and stuff like that, which is something I don't understand. Even though I do know that lesbian couples are harassed out in public, it's not as anywhere as crazy as like gay couples are and stuff like that. I do know it does happen though,
You
but
know,
it's just insane to think that like people can't mind their business.
yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that too because when I was on a date with a girl and I was very shy, like I was petrified, like I wanted to kiss her, but like I was kind of like people, like I just know like other people are going to take issue with it, and even though it's none of their fucking business,
Yeah.
they're going to make it their business. And I just like got in my car and she goes, oh, you forgot something, and she like well, when I say pulled me out of the car, not like in an aggressive way, but like and gave me a big smooch, and like I was so happy, but I was also like, who's looking, who's looking, who's looking? And obviously we got a couple dirty looks, but thankfully like didn't like come in and like punch us out or something. But like
Yeah.
it was like, but how is that any different? Like leave us alone. Look the other way if you don't like it. Look the other way.
Right. Yeah. I get it. Like but at the same time, well, I don't know, like it's not like people are doing this to put on a spectacle, like
Right.
it's not like that, like usually, like it's usually like for the most part it's innocent, like
Yes.
most people, like it's you want to touch your partner, you want to
Yeah.
be affectionate with your partner and stuff like that, like and like it's something that no one even thinks about when it's a heterosexual couple. So why is it that much different, from a same-sex couple? Okay, the fact that they both have the same anatomy, so what? At the end of the day, is it two people who are, loving or caring to each other? Yes. So why not?
LeRon, where was this couple assaulted? What state?
This was at shit. I was trying to look for the article. I should have bookmarked it,
It's
but
all right. Because I was like,
I
is it a southern state?
no, it wasn't actually. It was in a more progressive state. I want to say it was either California or Oregon. Um,
That's shocking.
yeah, like yeah. Well, Well, I know there's certain parts of California, like like if you're outside of certain areas, like yeah, it's more prevalent as you will get attacked. Just like people get attacked in New York City, and New York City technically is like the East Coast mecca. Well, actually, to hear people say it's probably Atlanta, Georgia, but like New York City is like the East Coast mecca for gay people, whereas like San Francisco is the West Coast one.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it was in a more progressive state, a state that's actually very tolerant, well known for tolerance, it's for LGBTQ people and stuff like that. So it was kind of mind blowing, to read it, and like I said, thankfully for the two people involved, like like
Yeah.
they got out with minor injuries because like I've seen some of the horror stories where people are partially paralyzed or left blind in one eye and stuff, and things like that. And it's just like wow, like it's wild,
Do There's a lot of questions going on in my head. What do you think is the majority of the reason why people, now this might sound like a stupid question, but let me explain why people would attack them? Is it like a religiously based issue or just like a personal hate issue? Or, because at first I would think religious, but like, for example, I'm Catholic and technically in Catholicism, like homosexuality is a sin. But guess what? I was also raised by some pretty awesome people that say, hey, treat others like you want to be treated. Like don't judge other people. That's not your job. Like,
yeah.
so whatever. But
I
so I'm
think
like,
people, I think people always want to. I think the people who always want to use the Bible for a reason for why they do it, they
mm,
never get the full lesson of what's going on because it's like he who lives in glass houses should not cast the first stone.
yep,
Meaning
yep,
meaning that like if you're not completely innocent, you should not be laying judgment or even like
exactly.
having criticisms and things like that. Or do unto others as that you want them to do you. Like I guarantee you, nobody's walking out there just begging for an ass kicking. So why do you think it's your job to kick somebody's ass for whatever right, religious or cause or whatever? Why do you think it's your right to do that?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's kind of like how I don't understand how people say, like for example, like I the United States is a country that prides itself on separation of church and state and stuff like that. But if you notice, like when people like enlist into the military to for the reason to go to war, like the first thing are like like we're doing this for God and country. Like no, God had no reason. God had no will for you to go out and kill other people. And I can pretty much guarantee you, like God, I can't really speak for God, but in this particular instance, but I'm pretty sure God's not wanting you crusading out there, to harm people who are homosexuals.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
And
I don't know. I as someone who grew up in an area where, I mean, if you weren't like white or Mennonite or straight, you kind of like, you know, the side eye. Uh, and it's weird because like growing up that way, it was when I moved to Columbus to go to school to college down there. It was like besides like playing sports and stuff against other schools, it was like really the first time I really ever interacted with people who weren't straight white people, or like religious people, and it was like it was really an eye opener for me, and uh, I kind of had to reteach myself how to accept people, which was like, I don't think that's uncommon for the time period that I grew up in and the area that I grew up in, especially, right? Like it sucks, but like that's how you are kind of raised in a sense, and
Hmm.
we were always raised that like, well, I don't know if raised is the right word, but like it was always like, you know, gay people are bad, or
It was like an
be
inherent
afraid.
belief.
Yeah, like you should you should be afraid of black people because that means you're in a bad area or something, right? And that was like, I mean, it took a long time for me to like, well, it didn't take me a long time, but like, you know what I mean? Like it took me to get out of that area for me to learn that like that's not true,
Hmm.
um, and I came to the realization that, like, man, you should just, like, not be stuck in this one little area where people think like this, because that's not what the world is, you know, and it's not how the world should be. And I made friends with gay people in college. I dated a black girl in college, right? Like, and, you know, I didn't get looks from like a gay perspective, but I dated a black girl and we got looks to the point where, like, she broke up with me because her friends were even pressuring her. She's like she shouldn't be dating a white person.
That's
you know?
another.
Like,
That's another thing that baffles my brain. Like, you know, like people who get hate for dating interracially, because I'm actually dating interracially, and even though I haven't had any comments levied towards me yet, but I know they're coming.
Is your, what ethnicity is your partner?
He's Armenian.
Okay, I think like, this is gonna sound really white of me, but I feel like people who are not white, like you, like, it would be different if you were dating a white person, and the, you know, I think the comments would be more prevalent, I would say.
I get you on that one, because the last guy I did it was a white guy, and and here was some of the craziest shit, right? While we were together, he told me that he had a conversation with some friends and stuff, and like when he did the whole, like, you know, like, here's my boyfriend, he showed him a picture of me on the phone and stuff like that. He said one of his friends was like, oh, you're dating a black guy? Like, I, you know, like, I wouldn't have thought that of you and stuff like that. And he said he could definitely feel like the racist undertone, but here's the kicker, right? The guy that was throwing all this at him was Asian. I was like, whoa. I was like, so he gave you shit for being in an interracial relationship when normally, and, you know, like, this is kind of a common, this is really a common stereotype, and especially like in the gay dating scene, is usually like Asian guys are usually with white dudes.
I don't know what I should say about my Asian counterparts, because it's not good to generalize or stereotype, but they tend to be really racist.
Yeah.
In all kinds of ways. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, not everybody.
Not everybody, true, but more times than not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so of course, what do you mean? Like, I don't want to oversimplify, but just for sake of high level discussion, you mean like dating minority, it makes less of a disruption than a minority and a white, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense, because like I know it's not the same, but like a white person and Asian person, like my parents, my dad's white, my mom's Asian, and my mom would just get so upset because everyone would be, you know, walked up probably to me and know that my dad was white and my mom was Asian. Oh, is your dad a GI?
Oh God.
Yeah,
we get that shit.
Yeah.
And like, so,
and you know, not only is that that's all sorts of fucked up, because it makes it sound like your mom, you know, got the automatic green card. You know, well, I mean, that's all sorts of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked at the car dealership, I got that about my wife, like, you know, because, well, they're from the Ukraine.
Russian.
Yeah.
Ukraine, yeah.
And like, it's not like a race thing, but like, they're from the Ukraine. They're like, "Oh, is your wife a green card wife?" I'm like, no, don't be a dick about it.
Don't be a dickhead.
And like, and I never told her that, because like, I don't want to like hurt her for things that dumbasses say where I'm working, right? Like, that's like, you know, but it sucks that like I had to defend that, you know, and that's like, you know, not even close to what you guys have probably heard over the years, but like, it's still like really sucks.
Well, that's wicked offensive. That's awful.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's disrespectful to your wife. Extremely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And like, even like my cousin worked there, and I like, he's like the biggest like, if you are not a white person, like a white man, you are getting made fun of. Like, that's my cousin in a nutshell. Like, that's, you know, and that like he was the one that usually led those conversations, and then he left and it kind of died down, but like it was still like, God, you're just like a big dick, aren't you? And
Damn, I
like
like the way you
this
said
was,
that.
and like we used to be like pretty close, you know, aside from that side of it, but like I haven't talked to him in over 2 years.
Let me ask you this. Do you think he even realized what he was
Oh
doing
yeah,
when he said it? Because
he
because
does.
because sometimes I feel like people ignorantly say shit, and when I say ignorantly, I mean like they don't realize they're saying something
Hmm.
off the cuff, you know?
He was, I mean, he would say it to get a rise out of people, until like he would do it to a piss off certain people, and b get a laugh out of other people. Like he was like
Wow.
an
See,
attention
yeah,
craver, you know.
that is being a dick.
And the sad
Yeah.
thing is, LeRon, he's older than you. Like
Oh, you know what? There's no helping
I
people at a
know,
certain age.
and so like
There isn't.
I I started ignoring
Because
it.
my roommate, yeah, my roommate, like I live with a Vietnamese guy, and we were having a general discussion about how like certain things are because he wasn't keeping up to date on certain things that are going on in the news. So when I was telling him about some of the stuff that was going on, like historically black colleges and universities getting calls of bomb threats daily and stuff like that, nothing happening, and there was another thing, like the wonderful governor of Virginia, like the new guy, like he basically ran under like parents issues, basically saying what can and can't be taught in schools and what should be done. But his whole underlying thing was all on critical race theory, which is not a thing that's taught in like any school that's not a law school.
Hmm.
Um, and so it basically, you know, sorry to our audience if I'm offending anybody right now. I basically put all the white Karens and stuff, on high alert and stuff. So all the Republicans came out and voted, and we got a Republican governor for the next 4 years,
Hmm.
here in Virginia and stuff like that. And now shit's backfiring on him because like all the stuff that he's trying to sign in executive orders, like judges are like, nope, you can't do that and shit like that. So it's funny, but at the same time, it's like so like my roommate just had me keeping up to date on current events and stuff. And I was telling him about that. He was like, the first thing he said is like, yeah, like the older generation, I feel like things are going to be a lot better once like all these older people die out, especially the ones that have some type of like extensive power like in government and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, honestly, like there'll be a lot less of it, but there'll still be it out there because they're poisoning our younger minds and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I think back to the conversation that you had the very first After Dark episode about your half Jewish nephew,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I was like that behavior was learned from an adult. That wasn't some shit like that little girl like thought up on her own.
Hmm.
That was
Yeah.
learned from an adult because the one thing I say is like kids don't see color. They see another human being.
Hmm.
And usually that human being's their favorite person in the world until somebody tells them
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah, or like if they see like because they see color because of how light reflects off things. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is when they see a person with white skin versus dark skin, it's the same thing as, oh, that person has red hair, black hair. So it's like they see a color, but it's like not significant. It's
Yeah,
just
not
another trait.
it's not yeah, it's not.
Blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, like the color of skin is not the denomination of who they are. At least that's not the way kids see it.
Hmm.
And like it sucks that we grow up and we wind up seeing a racial construct. It sucks the moment that happens. It's like a young person where I don't have any kids. I don't have any nieces and nephews and stuff like that. But like it'd be one of those like watershed moments for me. Like if I ever have like a niece or nephew come to me and say, hey, did you know that this person is a white person and all that? It's going to be crazy to think about those conversations. Or even when I have kids and like this comes up and it's like, yeah, like let me just go ahead and explain to you how the world is right now.
Yeah. It's I mean, we're really trying to keep like racial things out of our uh, daughter, like in like just trying not to point things out, and it's because like her cousins are half black because they're adopted, right? And it's like I really hope that she doesn't like start asking questions, because it's like I don't know, I know it's gonna happen because that's just the world we live in. Like she's gonna figure it out someday, but like right now, I think it's really cool and really like kind of like this really neat thing where like her favorite show on TV right now is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, and her favorite character on that show is a little black girl.
Wait, Daniel Tiger, is that Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. It's the cartoon spinoff from Mister Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And her favorite character is a little black girl on the show, and she loves her, wants to wear her.
Aw.
Like she like wants to be her all the time. Like her big thing on that show is like she walks backwards. She does everything backwards, and like my daughter will like try to walk backwards and like try to be her and stuff. And it's really cute. And like her favorite Disney movie right now is Encanto, and it's like it's just I don't know. I want to live in a world where I can believe that like she it's okay for that to happen, and I feel like at some point there's going to be something in her life that tells her that's not okay,
Yeah.
you know. And it just kind of sucks that we live in a world like that, you know.
Going back to around what you initially mentioned about that news piece, I gotta say, I at least am glad that people did not hesitate to step in and take action. Again, it would not have to. I wish it wouldn't have to get to that, because what if the couple was in a more private area?
Yeah.
But at least people see that. They see people taking action. It's not some bystander effect, because that's sometimes what I fear is people just watch and not do anything. And I'm glad they stuck up for them.
And you know what? That's the other thing too. That is the other thing too. Like, some people don't do anything because like they don't want the violence, introduced to themselves. So you know what? I understand that, because not everybody has the same fortitude. Like I remember like when COVID started, and like we had a dumbass, at the highest office in the land, calling it the China virus and the Wuhan flu and all this shit. And then we start seeing all these instances of like Asian people being attacked in the United States of America, because there was no real motive, there was no real spoken motivation for why Asian people were being attacked, but we knew why. We knew why, because media is blowing the shit up, like it's out there, and things like that. And what was sickening to me is that they weren't just picking on any random Asian people. They were picking on elderly Asian people
I know,
and stuff
my
like that.
gosh, that makes me so
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, so I remember telling like my roommates and people closest to me, I was like, hey, if you ever get a phone call and it's asking, will you accept the charges for me because I'm calling from the public jail? It's because I saw somebody out in the streets, like assaulting an Asian person, and I stepped up at that point and whipped their ass. So like you don't even have to like question why I'm in jail at that point. Like typically the joke is like if I'm calling you from jail to get pulled out, it's because I got racially profiled. But I was like, in this particular time, like right now, like it's because I done went vigilante justice on somebody who was being an asshole to like an Asian person, because that's the state of affairs the country's in right now, stuff like that. Um, and so yeah, going back to it, like I understand, like if somebody, like sees something going on and like they're paralyzed, or whatever it is, or they don't want the violence to be brought upon them and stuff like that. I see it, I acknowledge it and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I definitely commend the people as like it's like what's the term? If you see something, say something. Like those people are always the heroes, even if they don't actually challenge the person physically, if they turn around and
Yeah.
say, hey, stop doing that shit, that at least lets people know that that's bringing them the attention, and stuff like that, and yeah, I'm glad that there was a happy ending, as far as no one got maimed, no one got like no one got lost their lives, because for some strange reason, like these hate crimes, and that's really what they are. They're hate crimes, whether the person meant to commit the hate crime or not, it's a hate crime. Like if you turn around and see like a gay couple, and your first thought is to start like throwing fists, that's a hate crime.
Yeah. And it's
There's
pathetically archaic. Like if an alien were to like come down to this planet and it's 2022, they'd be like, what the fuck are these people doing there? They're just beating people up for no reason.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but
I expect that in the caveman days.
Also, the first instinct for humans would be to like attack the alien and not have it stick around long enough for it to like.
And, I don't understand. That's the other thing I don't understand too. Like, you're gonna attack something because you just don't understand it. Yeah. Like, number one, like we see I love because there's a part of the internet that I love seeing, and that's when trans people stand up for themselves. Because I've seen a lot of videos where like people start like fucking with and attacking trans people, and trans people turn around and start beating their ass like physically. Like, yeah, I live for that shit. It's like, yeah, just because she looks like a woman doesn't mean she has no testosterone. I love seeing that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so I don't understand people who don't have a regard for their own safety.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like, what if this gay couple you just attacked have a concealed carry license?
Mm-hmm.
Then what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
My side tangent. You just made me think of something really kind of funny, actually, LeRon. Like, my mom. I love my mom. Okay. But she's 68 years old. Okay. Every Wednesday or every week at some point, she's like, she's like, how are your internet shows going? And I'm like, they're good. Like, they're going fine. And then she'll whisper into the phone, do you still do it with that black guy? And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I have a couple black friends. She's like, you do? I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah, why are you whispering? I'm sure you're just at home sitting in the chair. Like, you don't need to whisper the word black guy.
What?
She's like, so is one of them still the gay one?
Still the gay one.
Yeah.
Still the gay one.
Like, because like me and Ed have been friends forever, right? And I'm just like, yeah, Mom. I'm like, I have multiple gay friends too. She's like, well, aren't you just worldly? I'm like, oh my God, Mom.
Worldly.
I'm
Okay,
like,
well.
I'm like, me having gay friends and like non-white friends does not make me worldly. It just makes me a
normal human being.
Nice person, I guess. I don't know. Like,
how religious is your mother?
Oh, it just depends on what day it is.
Oh, damn.
I mean, like, she'll like more recently, just because like my cousin is sick, like, and she's like, no, make sure you say your prayers every night. I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm not like gonna sit at the foot of my bed on my knees with my hands crossed, right? And like, whatever. I think that, I mean, religion could be another topic on this show entirely at some point, but like, I don't necessarily believe that the way I was brought up religious is necessarily the way we should go about things. I've kind of like, not that I don't believe in God, but I don't believe in the way that they taught us, and like, it's just, there's just this whole thing. And she's just like, well, like good example, every Christmas, she's like, now you know the real meaning of Christmas, right? And I'm like, yes, Mom, I understand. And I also want to inform you that Jesus was not a white man with blue eyes. And you know what I mean? Like,
ooh, you started some shit.
I mean, I didn't really say that to her, but like, that's what I want to say to her every time, and it's just like, I know what you're trying to do. And like, I appreciate it. I know you're just trying to like be motherly and keep me safe and stuff. But like, it's just sometimes she says things and I'm just like, they're head scratchers,
Yeah, that definitely has to be a topic for another thing because I have so much shit to say about that because religion I feel like can go both ways. It could be the the true meaning of Christmas and all this other like stupid things that like they're trying to make sure you stay religious for religious sake. And
Hmm.
then there's actual like the kind of religion that I think of like be a good person through your
Yes.
actions, be a
Yeah.
Yeah.
role model. And that's the true essence. But anyway, like that's
Yeah.
because there's ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to. We should probably. I want to do that topic maybe next week. We'll do it because
Okay.
like I
Yeah,
have
we'll definitely put a pin in that.
yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot of I think
Man,
is interesting thoughts on
man, I
religion.
tell you, growing up Black Southern Baptist, whew, I have some
I'm
stories.
a
I will say this though. I'm glad though that it'll be a forum with us to talk about it because I feel like we're all gonna have something slightly different, but it's not gonna be a bloodbath. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a
Yeah,
good conversation.
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
and we'll just put the disclaimer out there now. We respect religion. We do.
Yeah.
We have our views on it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's and we're like now I'll save it all for next week. I don't want to
Yeah,
like
save it. Yeah, save it for next week. Save it for next week. Um. Okay. Well.
Thank you, LeRon. It's a heavy story to share, and
I actually feel much better saying it because like actually speaking it out loud now because I mean like it did give me anxiety and it's what's sad and I'm not sure if it's actually I know this like I can actually pinpoint the I grew up trying to keep my emotions in check and stuff like that. Like it was one of those situations where it was like, yeah, like it was very macho thing. Like, don't let people see you react. Don't let people see you being emotional. Don't let people see you sweat, stuff like that. And I can actually trace to the point where like I actually like no longer was able to control like my emotionalism and stuff like that. Like if I saw something that triggered me to make me cry, like I was probably going to cry. Like if I saw something that was going to make me angry, like I was tired of bottling it up. I'd let people know right then and there I'm pissed, and this is what you need to do to get me unpissed right now and stuff like that.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, so like when I read this whole thing about the couple being attacked and stuff like that, even though it wasn't anywhere like close to a tragedy, the first thing I wound up like I said I started reeling from it because like I the same amount of emotion I had when I saw the Ahmaud Arbery thing where he got killed by those two guys in Georgia. Like it like my whole like thought process and my physical state heightened just like that again. It's wild, and I feel like like I suffer from like a different amount of PTSD just being a citizen of the United States now that it's unimaginable.
Hmm. Yeah, I have this conversation with Ed once in a while, but like I it applies to you too, Laurent. Like I worry more about like you guys, especially like the last few years. Apparently, is just a terrible time to be a not white person. I guess. Like
Yeah.
I worry about you guys more about your skin color than like your sexuality at this point. Like I just
Yeah.
it's scary, and I feel terrible. From like just the perspective that I can't understand what you guys go through. It sucks.
we
It,
got to keep talking about it. And again, be good role models. Put the word out there that no
Hmm.
human being, absolutely no human being, deserves to be just assaulted for no reason other than just being the person that they are. I feel like it's a basic human right to be able to wake up and walk the streets safely without having to
Well,
worry about.
except for Nazis, like
Okay, yes, sorry, asterisk. Aside from Nazis who are just inherently evil anyway,
Nazis, anti-Semites, like
pedophiles,
I mean, pedophiles. Yeah,
they're on a certain list,
yeah,
shit list.
I think the moral of the story is just be a good person. Everybody should just
Yeah.
be a good person and
yeah.
be morally straight at some point. Like it's just like God, just how my. I'm sorry. I know we're running over, but like how can somebody just hate? How does LeRon? How does you being black and bisexual affect my life? Right. And
It doesn't.
Why?
If
Why would
anything,
that like?
being
Why
Go
would
ahead,
that
go
make
ahead.
somebody angry? You
Yeah.
know, that's what I don't understand. Is like, why would that make somebody so angry that they would have to like physically try to hurt you or worse, right? Like that. I don't understand that mindset of people. I just don't. I don't get it. It hurts my brain to even think about how people's brains process it that way.
Mhm. Maybe maybe my problem is that I'm just too hopelessly optimistic and whatnot, because I feel like anybody that's walked a different life story than you, like if anything should bring like in, like it should like enrich your life if like they're willing to like be your friend or be an acquaintance or whatever,
Yeah.
not like the exact opposite, like to cause you to want to just like just look at them as different and things like that. And especially like like if if seeing somebody like is birthing a violent reaction from you, I think you're the problem. I don't think it's them,
Yeah.
with the exception of those asterisks that we just said a few minutes ago. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah. Man. Yes. Okay. I'm done now.
I think we're all done.
Yeah.
I think we are.
I'm ready.
We have to, right? This is like a topic that we could just go on. And
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got plenty more shows to do this.
Oh
with,
yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll
Like,
revisit.
there's more coming down. But you know what? This has been Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast of the flagship show for Boss Rush Network. We'd like to go ahead and thank you all for tuning in and for listening to the show. Also, real quickly, because we didn't get housekeeping out of the way, just know that you can get the show early on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Boss Rush Network every Saturday, or on YouTube, our podcast services, or our website 2 weeks later for free. We always remind you to please leave a 5-star review on iTunes and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we've got merch that like you definitely know how to find that, and you can find all of our content, all of our content, all of it, everything from Arsenal X to Nintendo Power Block to Crossroads PlayStation Podcast to 1v1 Talk the Walk, all that stuff. You can find it all on bossrush.net. Before we head out, here's how you can connect with the members of After Dark. You know what? I always go to you first, Stephanie, but this time I'm going to make Corey feel special. And Corey, you go first.
Aw, thanks. Nobody ever makes me feel special.
Oh, look at that smile.
You
Hey,
can.
happy Valentine's Day, brother.
Aw, thanks, LeRon. Happy Valentine's Day. You can be my.
Thank you.
Never mind.
What?
I'll text you later. You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast and Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, and alternating co-hosts with Stephanie for Standard Def.
All right, Stephanie.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Klimov, KLIMOV_author. As Corey mentioned, I am regularly part of Standard Def and Boss Rush podcast, and you can find my articles at bossrush.net.
All right. And not to be left out, I am also part of Standard Def, but I am on for the Marvel Cinematic Universe portion of it right now, as well as the Mass Effect portion. But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Exodus803. It's also my Twitch and YouTube channels. And I already mentioned it, but of course, twitch.tv/Exodus803, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Crossroads PlayStation Podcast Show. And I'm always part of the Wednesday night Boss Rush podcast. So there you go. That's it for us tonight. We once again want to thank you all. Come back and join us for our next installment of Boss Rush After Dark, where we'll be back to talk about more topics that aren't completely content appropriate. Come on, guys, you never hear this stuff on Nintendo Power Block. You sometimes might hear it on Arsenal X. You always get a sneak preview of it on Crossroads, but usually we save it for After Dark. So we appreciate it. Definitely come back, and we will see you next time. Have a good night.
Love you. Good night.